We have designed the training course especially for those who are going to apply for any kind of job or entrepreneurship business. Okay, and we segmented it in two different ways. One session will completely practical training, and whatever you will learn today and tomorrow, you'll have to give your assessment on the day 15th. Okay, like sir will today conduct the session, our Honorable Director of Career Development Center, Mr. Abu Khan. He will take the session on your CV writing and resume writing and similar other things. You have to prepare your CV and resume completely, and you have to bring it on the day for 15th May. Okay, and sir will discuss and sir will evaluate your written CV. And at the end of the session, you will have a complete CV and resume the way an employer would want from you. Okay? So let's welcome our director sir, and I'd like to invite our director sir to initiate the inaugural program.
To go to the formal session, I'd like to have a little introduction about the 3-day program. In the first day, we'll discuss how a CV or resume has to be prepared. Then the second portion of the same discussion, after preparing a CV or resume, how you will produce it to your employer. That is, you have to prepare another document that is called cover letter. Along with the CV, this cover letter will be placed before your employer. More or less, this is the discussion of first day. In the second day, discussion will be made on how you will present yourself based on your CV or resume to your employer, before your employer. That is how you will face an interview. What manners you should equip to present yourself smartly, efficiently before the interview board. And this presentation will cover the physical presentation, that is the facing an interview, as well as sometimes you may have present a literature also. How you will prove yourself efficient in that particular organization. This is the discussion of the second day. That is, the discussion of first and second day is mainly the theoretical analysis and exercise. But in the last day, that is in the Thursday, we will try to assess ourselves how much we have learned in the first and second day. And in the last day, we will arrange a mock interview session. That is, you will come, we will sit one side, that is in the side of an the whole discussion will be in English, but sometimes if anybody of domestic student, if you can't express properly your problem, you can ask in Bengali, no problem. But please, it's my submission, humble submission to you, please don't hesitate to ask any question, don't hide any problem. This is the first time this kinds of session will be arranged in DIU. We hope the outcome will encourage us to arrange similar course in the next days also, in the near future also. Very frankly, if I say you have paid some money as registration fee for this course. But honestly, I tell you, the earning of revenue is not the motto of the university. The main objective of arranging this course is to prepare yourself, prepare you really capable in the job market. And therefore, I will humbly again request, be sincere, be attentive, and try to learn something from this 3D course. formalities. Everywhere there are formalities. Even when you will face an interview board, at that time you have to maintain some formalities. And I think it's also a mock interview session. However, I will conclude here. This is actually the introductory session. It is not the part of our formal presentation. After concluding this small introductory session, we will go to our actual business, that is to the presentation. How many foreign students? Please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. Welcome.
Okay.
90 seconds. How much time it is?
1 hour and a half.
1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
How can we measure it? 1, 2, 3. Approximately, if we count from 1 to 90, it may be similar to 90 seconds. Okay? Is it a very long time, 90 seconds?
No.
Sometimes too long,
Yeah.
but not always. It's very teeny period of time, 90 seconds. 90 seconds, that international study findings tells us that when a job seeker go to an interview, 33% respondent, that is employer, that is the board member, interview board members, replied that they take the decision within 90 seconds. When a job seeker enter into the room before the interview board, within 90 seconds, decision is taken whether the boy is good or not. This is the findings. Therefore, we in 3 days have to take the preparation for that 90 seconds. How you will prove yourself capable, and you have to prove it within 90 seconds. Let's try. How can we make ourselves prepared for that 90 seconds? In the beginning, we will go through a little bit formal presentation. The today's topic is preparation of CV, resume, and cover letter. 3 items. Let's go to the second page. Mr. Aflatun Kaisar, my colleague, will help me in the class, and we think he will be with us for 3 long days. Long days is because 90 seconds is our basis. First come to the CV. What is CV? Don't look here. Who knows about CV? What is CV? Be honest and tell me, what is CV? The abbreviation is Curriculum Vitae. Everybody knows it? Not 100%. And somebody tell it Curricular Vitae. Somebody tell it Curriculum Vitae. Actually, the abbreviation is curriculum. Curriculum for C, C for curriculum, and V for vita. It's not an English word. It's not the English words. These are the words originated from Latin. In Bengali, there are many words from Sanskrit, and even Persian and other languages. The curriculum vitae nowadays two English words but originated from Latin. Its meaning in Latin is course of life. What's the meaning of curriculum vitae? As it's the Latin word, it's mainly we should know what its Latin meaning. The Latin meaning is course of life. We will try to prepare a course of life today. If in the interview somebody asks you, what is curriculum vitae? What will you tell? Somebody if asks you, what's curriculum vitae? Give the answer.
Course of life.
Curriculum vitae is abbreviation of CV is curriculum vitae, and the Latin meaning of curriculum vitae is course of.
Good. If we like to have a meaning of any word, not only CV, meaning of any word, what we do first, at the very first, what we do, if you don't know the meaning, exact meaning of that particular word, what will you do? Definition. Okay, we'll try to find the definition. But where? Where will we get the definition? Where will we get the exact meaning? Dictionary is the first book who will give you the proper meaning. I tell you, in your daily life, please try to have an habit. If you don't understand the word, please go first to your dictionary. Sometimes what you do, I ask my friend, my mother, my father, what's the meaning? Please don't do this. Go to the dictionary and try to see what's the exact meaning. And sometimes the general meaning, the as usual meaning is not proper, is not correct. It may be wrong. Sometimes we try to find the correct spelling. Somebody tell it is ear, somebody tell ear. That may be a confusion. Don't make it, please try to remove this confusion not by discussing with others, but by referring the dictionary. You can do it for every cases, not only for curriculum. Let's go to the dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary. What has been told about CV? In Cambridge Dictionary, it has been told that CV is a short written description. It's a short written description of individuals, education, qualification, and previous job, and personal analysis. Nowadays, very popular reference is Wikipedia. If you like to understand something, just go to the internet and see Wikipedia. In Wikipedia, what about told about CV? CV is a written overview of person's experience and other qualifications for a job. We can refer a lot of other books and documents, but more or less the CV is the course of life. That is what you are, what sorts of educational quality you have, what sorts of qualification you deserve, what previous jobs and experience you have, and what personal other interests you contain that can help that particular organization where we like to serve. If anybody asks you, define that you told, define or give the meaning of CV, what will you tell? What will be your response, reply? Tell somebody. you replied that I will tell that CV is the meaning, that is the curriculum vitae, it's the Latin word, its meanings the course of life. Similarly, you tell, give the reply, what is the meaning of curriculum vitae? Define it.
The course of life that
Right? It's a course of life which contains the educational level, the experiences, the areas of interest, and other qualifications. More or less, we have understood, possibly I assume, that you have understood what is CV, from which words he have originated and what it means. And if any member of the interview board asks you, I hope you will be able to reply. And even it may in the third day, somebody from the interview board may ask you what is CV. Please go to the next page. Differences between CV and resume, or the correlation between CV and resume, or the linkage between CV and resume. In fact, CV and resume more or less is the same thing. Both are the representation of life. What we have told in the previous pages in Latin, course of life.
course of life.
Both CV and resume are the course of life in brief. But CV is more brief, more shorter, and resume is more shorter, and CV is little longer than your resume. It's not, both are the same thing. Both resume and CV is a representative linguistic character of your capability and quality. But the difference is that resume is more or less a brief description, and equal CV is brief but little shorter than the resume. And conventional thinking have that resume may be limited within one page only, and CV may be more than one page. It's not a consensus opinion that a CV and resume will be only within one page, but it's a convention. And conventionally, we feel that a CV may be longer than the resume. But this longer version of resume, it depends also with its purpose. When it becomes longer, when the purpose is different and it deserves to be longer in relation to its purpose. And even based on layout, it may be longer. Say, if you have a piece of land with 2,500 square feet of land, if you like to construct a building, the floor size, it may be 2/3 of its total area. This is the policy guideline of building construction. In Bangladesh, you know, the authority of approval of a building layout plan is Raju. You know, it's the local organization, the capital development authority. The organization is responsible to approve the building layout plan in the country. If you like to construct a building, you have to take the permission from the organization. But our discussion and the issue is not the RASU or not the building construction, but just to have an example and to make it clarified. More or less, the floor size will be 2/3 of total land. If the total land is 2,500 square feet, it floor space may be approximately 600 square feet. It's the layout. If you don't follow that particular standing decision, the policy decision, you can construct it within 18,000 square feet. If you construct that building keeping the floor size 18,000, if it's a 5-story building, whole 5-story level will give you total size of 9. Is it? Yes. Square feet. If you change the floor size, it will. If you follow the real size, that will be 6,000 square feet. That is, if you change the layout, the floor size will be different. If you change the layout of your CV or resume, it will be changed by size. If you follow a particular type of layout, it may be covered within one page. But if you change the layout, it may take more than one pages. Possibly it is little confusing, is it? Possibly not clear. Okay, fine. It will be clear when we will go to the format. Then, however, let's try to understand that the CV, curriculum vitae, and the resume, the purpose is the same of both of these, and both are the life case of an individual. But conventionally, a resume is a shorter version of your life case, which is conventionally followed and prepared within one page. And CV is little longer than the resume. তোমরা যারা বাংলা আসো তারা মানে এক পৃষ্ঠার মধ্যে হচ্ছে রিজিউমি, আর যদি সিভি করতে চাও তার চেয়ে বেশি হবে। Let's go to the next page. What are the differences between CV and resume? If we like to see side by side, CV is an in-depth document which contains detail about achievement. It's little detail. Resume is a concise. The difference is this is detail and this is concise. This is the basic one of the basic differences. It covers education as well as other accomplishment. Education plus all relevant qualifications, experience, interest, the cultural, social, academic, other involvements, everything. But in case of resume, it does not contain the whole. It's education and all other, but it's not contain the whole things. More or less clear? বাংলা কি ভাষা নাকি স্পষ্ট?
Clear. I have a question. Why we use resume?
I tell you, in Bengali, অনুতপ্ত এবং দুঃখিত বলে দুটো শব্দ আছে, দুটোর একই অর্থ, পার্থক্যটি হচ্ছে উপলব্ধিগত। দুঃখিত হলো তোমার সাথে আমি চলতে যে ধাক্কা লাগলো, বললাম আমি দুঃখিত, সরি, বাট তুমি এটার জন্য মানে কাজটা এত খারাপ করেছো যে এটার জন্য মনে মনে আবার একটু বেদনাও বোধ করছো, আক্ষেপ হচ্ছে, সেটা হচ্ছে অনুতপ্ত। প্রত্যেক ভাষায় এরকম কিছু শব্দ থাকে যেগুলো মোরলেস একই অর্থ বহন করে, বাট তার ব্যবহারিক পার্থক্য থাকে। ইংরেজিতে রিজিউ এবং সিভির পার্থক্যটি হচ্ছে আবিধানিকভাবে মোরলেস একই শব্দ, কিন্তু তার ব্যবহারিক দিকের পার্থক্যটি হচ্ছে দুটোই দ্য রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ অফ ইউর লাইফ স্কেল, বাট ইন ডিটেল ইট ইজ সিভি, ইন শর্ট ইট ইজ রিজিউ। Any question? Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Sir, during my preparation, can I drop out resume or can I take only CV?
Sorry?
During my preparation, can I drop out resume? We're only taking CV.
Yes, but it's depend where you are placing that CV or resume. We'll go to that discussion also. It differs from organization to organization, place to place, situation to situation. It differs. If you don't raise any question, it means you can't understand anything. Or it may that I can't make it clear to you. Therefore, my humble request, please raise your question just now, or please keep it note and then we'll discuss later.
Sir.
Yes?
If you explain this question in English, if you explain the answer of this question in English, why do we need the resume?
Why we need resume? We'll discuss why we need resume in the later part we have. But now I like to tell, when the time is very short, you have to convince your employer very quickly and within a very short span of time. Then you have to produce a resume only. But if you like to make it elaborate to your employer, and employer have enough time to process that particular application, then you can give him the CV in detail. Next, please. Next, please. CV is not only for job. বাঙালি এই শুধুমাত্র চাকরির জন্য সিভি হয় না, বিয়ের পাত্র পাত্রী খোঁজার জন্য সিভি লাগে। The CV is not prepared only to seek a job. It may have many other purposes also. What may be other purposes? CV of a bride groom. Is it not? Yes. CV of an investor. If a foreigner likes to invest in Bangladesh, he will produce his CV to the government of Bangladesh or the appropriate authority. If he likes to take admission in National University, you have to prepare a CV for admission purposes. If you like to go get admission in Oxford University, you have to prepare your CV very carefully by focusing the academic soundness of your life. If it is for higher studies, for PhD courses or MPhil courses, then you have to prepare a CV or in other manner, other purposes. You have asked why CV and how it will be longer or shorter. When you will prepare a CV to get a consultancy in World Bank, you have to produce at least 5 pages CV to convince your employer that I have these all sorts of experiences that will support you that particular job of World Bank.
Detail.
or not always that your CV will be within 1 or 2 pages only. For that particular job of under World Bank or IMF or any other similar very prestigious organization where you have to produce your quality and services in detail, then you have to produce your CV in details also. If you like to have a nomination for a training course, you have a different sorts of CV. If it is for seminar, that will be another type of CV. If it is for conference, it will be another type. If you like to get asylum, the political shelter, do you understand asylum? Asylum? Nobody?
Someone fleeing his country to go to another country.
Yes. If anybody like to take shelter physically due to political reason to another country, that is called asylum. You can claim citizenship. The Rohingyas of Myanmar, they are now staying in Bangladesh. After 10 years, some of them can claim that I like to apply for the citizenship of Bangladesh. In that case, the CV will be different. Not only education, a very different source of background information is needed there. If you like to claim citizenship in America, USA or UK, you have to produce different sorts of information in your CV or CV. That's why we can say how long the CV will be, it depends on its aim and objectives. And CV is not only for job seekers. But as you are, most of you are for a job seeker, you are thinking that a CV is needed. But CV is needed for many purposes, for many reasons. You lady of the corner, can you understand? If not, please ask. I will try to help you, but please don't be shy to ask me questions. Yes?
If you use CV for a bridegroom or CV is not only for seeking a job. So what's the difference between CV and biodata?
Biodata is the biodata, CV, resume, biography, more or less these are the similar word. That is বাংলায় যেটাকে বলি প্রতিশব্দ, একই শব্দ, এর ব্যবহারিক অর্থ ভিন্ন। The biodata and the CV, I think more or less the same thing. But when it is bio word is included, we feel it very personal expression. When we say autobiography, you know the very famous book of Jawaharlal Nehru, the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. The autobiography, it means his whole life, how he has born and have passed a long life up to the mountain level of popularity in the global politics.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes?
Sir,
If question is passed, I think the output will be much.
Sir, some days ago, my class roommate is laughing, reading a CV that the man include that he participated in a seminar in Team Motri Sammelan. He also include that in his CV. My roommate says how it is funny. He just attend a seminar and write to his CV. Is it any laughing matter?
No, certainly not. If this experience is relevant to your employer, who would like to see you, that you will organize similar event in Chinmoti Samiti, then he will recruit you to for that particular.
Sir, not he organizing. He just attend the seminar.
It will depend what you are placing your CV. If it is relevant to that particular organization, particular purpose, then you can mention it. But no, it will depend for what you are producing the same. With due respect to you all, I pay respect and tell you, most of our students can't write proper CV. And even after completing our discussion, I am not sure that everybody will be sufficiently capable enough. But I hope you will try, and ultimately, nobody is 100% perfect in this universe. But we will try to be very close to the perfectness. We will try to be perfect. Next page. In our day-to-day life, not only in Bangladesh, anywhere in the world, the teachers, the speaker, the author, the keynote speaker, the chief guest, the special guest, everybody likes to talk like me. In most cases, they don't think what the audience is thinking, whether they are satisfied or not. That is the main problem in CV writing also. You are thinking, I went to the Chinmati Samiti. It's a relevant issue that you have mentioned. And everybody think this is relevant. In most cases, they think this is relevant information. This is the part of my academic qualification. That this sorts of experiences I have. Therefore, I mentioned all these things. Please try to understand from the situation of audience, not from the situation of the speaker. In case of placing a CV, your employer is your audience. You are in the position of a speaker. That is, you are presenting yourself to that audience, that is to your employer. Please try to meet the reader's interest. Readers means who will read your CV or resume. Please try to understand. Please, again and again I repeat it. Please try to meet the reader's interest and requirements. Not what you have. Try to understand what he wants. What the employer wants. What the requirements of employer. If you can't fulfill the requirements of employer, please don't place your CV. Very first and foremost condition is that you have to understand the requirement of your employer. That is why you are placing your CV. Try to meet his requirements and his interest. If it's a CV for a bride or groom, and if you mention that I have an experience of sharing a seminar in Bangladesh Chinmati Samiti, is it at all relevant? No. In the CV of a bride groom, they will be interested to know what about you, the father, his family, his brothers and sisters, the economic level, what education he have, what profession now he is in, this sorts of information. Proceed, Koro. So, when we prepare a CV, please try to meet the interest and requirements of your reader. Next, easy text and clear word. Don't use any jargon or any hard word. Please, very clear word and easy text. Attractive makeup. ওখানে বলতো যে মনীষ বললাম যে আমার টেবিলে দেওয়া হয়েছিল বড় ফোল্ডার, ওটা একবার নিয়ে আসতে। I will show you a lot of CV preserved in a folder in my office. A very different CVs. What are those, the makeup of those CVs, and you can imagine how much we are in a very differentiative manner and thinking. However, the makeup, the ladies here, always, the boys are also take the help of makeup, but in most cases, the ladies take makeup. Why? To present herself attractive to the viewer. The same thing is applicable for your CV. Try to have a makeup that will attract you better. The same thing. The causes of taking makeup by lady is the same. The same cause is for have a makeup of a CV or a CV. What will be its makeup? We'll go next in a format. What should be the makeup? What sorts of makeup? You know, our beauticians ask you, is it the makeup for a wedding ceremony, or it's a birthday party, or it's in a seminar, or it's to meeting a boyfriend, something different. And it depends what sorts of makeup it will contain. That is like the purpose. Depends on what purposes, for what purposes you are preparing it. CV resume should be prepared with most updated information. In many times, in my experience, I experienced with many of the students of this university. I have asked, what is your average CGPA now? Sir, it was 3.3 up to 4th semester. Now he is the student of 6th semester. Up to 5th, what is the average CGPA up to 5th semester? Sir, I have not made it yet. Please don't do this. Please always try to be updated information in your CV. Every time, for not only for CGPA, for every item, you should be updated with updated information. Please do it. এই তোমরা যে স্থানীয় ছাত্র বুঝতে অসুবিধা হচ্ছে? যদি হয় বলবো, অসুবিধা নেই। হ্যাঁ, আর আরেকটা জিনিস তোমাদেরকে বলে রাখি যে এই 3 দিনের ক্লাসের পরেও the same thing I will repeat in English, just 2-3 minutes I am speaking in Bengali with them. আমি সরকারি চাকরিতে ছিলাম, হ্যাঁ, রিটায়ার করে এখানে যোগদান করেছি। তো ক্লাসের ছেলে মেয়েদের অভিজ্ঞতা থেকে আমার যেটা সবচেয়ে খুব কষ্ট লাগে যে এই অধিকাংশ ছেলেমেয়েরা, তাদের দোষ দেওয়া যাবে না, কারণ তোমরা তো এই মাত্র শিখছো, তাই না? ফলে এটা কোনোভাবেই, বরং আমরা শিক্ষক কতটুকু তোমাদের যদি কোনো অপূর্ণতা থাকে সেই দোষ তোমাদের না, সেটা শিক্ষকের দোষ। এটা কিন্তু বিনয় বা সৌজন্য না, সত্যি সত্যি। তো আমার ইচ্ছা যে তোমরা এই 3 দিনের কোর্সে যদি না পারো, এরকম আরো 3 দিন করে 9 দিন আমার রুমে আসো, বসো, আমরা একসাথে বসি, দরকার হলে নিজের রুমে বসি, দরকার হলে কনফারেন্স রুমে আবার বসি, দরকার হলে ক্লাসরুমে বসি। এটার জন্য কোনো রেজিস্ট্রেশন ফি লাগবে না, কোনো কিছু লাগবে না। বাট আমি তোমাদেরকে বলি, জিনিসটা তোমরা পুরোপুরিভাবে শেখার চেষ্টা করো, সিনসিয়ারলি অ্যান্ড উইথ হাইস্ট অনেস্টি উইল ট্রাই টু হেল্প। Let's go to the original discussion. Most quickly, most updated information with date and signature. It should be in the CV, but not in case of resume. This is the difference. Resume is a very shorter version, and it is suggested that it should be only within 1 page. If it is within one page, and you put your signature and keep a date, it will take more space. And therefore, it is discouraged that signature and date, these sorts of information, may be avoided in case of resume. There are a lot of CVs here. It's the exhibition of varieties. And then makeup, if you like to, it may be a document of research. What different sorts of CVs the students are generally prepared. Next is pre-questions. Can you understand pre-questions? What does it mean by pre-question? Anybody? Yes? What is pre-question? Oh, okay.
You said
Date and signature.
when you say the CV is a boot and signature, why they put the resume signature or only CV is a boot and signature?
As we say that this resume will be within one page. If we put the date and signature in the first page, it will take a space. To make the space minimum, we suggest to avoid signature and date. But in case of CV, you can write it, but not in case of resume. Okay? Next. A CV or resume will not be common for all purposes. We have already discussed that it will not be common for all purposes. Should not be copy of other CV. What we do usually, in most cases, to make it copy from others. Please don't this. If you write to satisfy your teacher or in the class that I have produced a good CV, that may be. But if you like to satisfy your employer, your real reader, please don't do this. In the class, to fulfill the requirements of submitting assignment, we make it copy from others, from my friends. But if you make a copy, it will not be sufficient to convince or satisfy your reader or employer. Therefore, please don't make copy of CV from others. If you can't prepare it, take the help of a person who can help you, but please don't make it copy. No wrong information should be included. Please don't give any information which is wrong. There have lot of instances that many people produce wrong information in this CV. But mind it, today or tomorrow, you will be face an embarrassing situation for that purpose, for that wrong information. Therefore, please don't put any wrong information in the CV. The persons mentioned in the CV as referees must be aware of this. In CV, we put it the references, name of two persons, but they don't know to have put it. Don't do this. If you like to mention the name of anybody as the reference, please inform this earlier and then use his name. Otherwise, when an employer will contact directly to that reference person, he may be in an awkward situation, and sometimes he may be not in a situation to become a new also. So, please inform that particular person before mentioning his name as the reference. Then, CV resume should be prepared by applicant herself or himself. Please don't ask any friend, please prepare a CV for me, or your father. You should not request your father or any person who is very efficient. No. Who is efficient, that's not important. The CV is your own documents, and only you is the best person who can say about yourself. Therefore, please prepare the CV by yourself. You can take the help of others, but prepare it by your own knowledge and thinking. Next. Now look to this board. Try to see these CVs. In most cases, when you think of a CV, we think to have this source of document, 2 or 3 pages information sheet. But this is not the only form of a CV or resume. What are the different forms? One of the form is resume. It may be a hard form. It may be a soft form. It may be a video form also. It may be physical presentation. You are facing your employer physically, directly, and presenting yourself. The video conference from 3 different places of the world. 2 employer who is now staying in one in London, another in Washington, and you are in Dhaka. If it is a video conference, then you can put yourself, produce yourself, present yourself to those 2 employer, one who is one in Washington and another in London. Viva and interview. It's another form of presenting yourself. It's of the hard form. See, that's nowadays while we are proceeding with ICT, IT technology very fast, then the soft form of CV is widely used. And what in the very recent days, and in the running days, we are actually forgetting the form of either soft form or hard form. We are going to the video form, what we call video resume. By this time, we have already started producing this sorts of video resume, and we have already taken one workshop along with our students how a video resume can be presented. Anybody here are interested to prepare a video resume?
Yes.
Oh, very good. It's very quite interesting class. How many you are in a position that you have a video resume? Have anybody? তোমাদের কারো ভিডিও রিজিউমি করা আছে নাকি? How many are interested to have a video resume? Please raise your hand. The interested students also. If you are interested to, my very dear participants, I'm not sure. You can help. How much they understand in English? I don't know. They're very shy. They talk less. But it does not mean that they can understand. I don't know how much you can understand.
You understand our language. Knows our languages and our senses. We spoke English language.
Also, more or less everybody can understand.
So
So their speaking capability is not equal, but they can understand.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are interested, we can arrange a session for producing video resume. Those who are interested, give your name to Mr. Aflatun, and after compiling the names, we will arrange a video resume session, 1 or 2, 3 days, what is necessary. Then I think that will be a more smart approach to have a CV. How many people here who have the international video, not necessarily the international, interorganizational long space video conference experience? Video conference experience? Have you anybody have? No. How many you have already faced the interview? One. Anybody else? Who have faced interview for job or any other purposes? Yes. For what reason you have faced the interview?
Sir, for this year, during this year, I have faced interviews, international affairs officer.
Okay, very good. Certainly, as he is an international student, he have to face interview. Why he have come here?
Yeah.
In which department he like to get admission? And many other reasons. Next case. It's a CV of. Can you recognize this gentleman? Yes. This is the real database CV of Mr. Aflatun Kausar. Yesterday, Mr. Aflatun and I myself sit together and prepare this for you. Yesterday. This is the most updated information. Yes, even we have corrected in this today model in some cases. This is a format of a resume in one page. If it is the space limit of one page, and if we call it resume, what sorts of information may be there? Number one, how many information and what sorts of information? What source of information? What source of information and how much information? Number one. Number two, that makeup that we have discussed earlier. If it is surrounded by a margin, যদি চারদিক থেকে এরকম একটা দাগ দিয়ে করতে চাও, it may be like this. But if you like to omit this margin, you have to maintain a makeup. It's a face makeup. It is left 1.25 inches, top 1.25, right it is 0.75, and if it is bottom then it is 1. It's a standard makeup for a plain face. If it is LB's left, is a plain paper, plain face. The left margin will be 1.25. The top will be 1.25. The right will be 0.75. The bottom will be 1. But if you draw a border line, it will not cover. If you draw a border line, this margin may be less than this indication. It's not necessary to, yes?
Just you so just like this as a sheet, you can talk with this sheet. So just as like this 1.25.
If you like to draw this sort of border,
Yeah.
this is not necessary. But if you omit this border, if it is only plain, then you follow it. Clear? If you like to draw this sorts of box, then this is not applicable. But if you omit this border, then you have to follow this. If it is in plain paper, without border.
First one you have to write it.
Right. Right, sir. If it is without border, you will follow this indication. If it is not borderless, then you can go like this. Okay?
Yes, sir.
What sorts of information now? We have seen that makeup. Now, how much information? তোমাকে যদি বলা হয় যে একটা মাত্র তথ্য দাও তোমার নিজের সম্পর্কে, if you are asked to give only one single information about you, you have lot of information in your life which can be shared with others, but only within one place you can afford all the information to accommodate there. Can you?
No.
No. In that case, what we will do? We will make a preference of a list. What source of information? If it is only one information you can put there, what's the basic information there? Can you read that? If you are asked to give only one information about you, what will be that information?
Education.
Education. Height.
It's your name, the very first thing. What's your name? If you are requested to give second information, what is that?
What was that information? What about that information?
The first information, what's your name? What's the second information?
Your full name.
Your first, your full name, and second information. What about your city or things?
Sir, where are you from?
Yes.
Where are you from, sir?
Any other opinion?
First one, full name. Secondly, maybe can be qualification.
The place you are from.
Another thing.
Information, your information,
What's the information?
like skills.
Skill. Is there any other opinion?
Contact number.
Contact number.
Yeah.
Yes? Then,
Your qualification.
sorry. You have put a lot of opinion. He told that the contact number, somebody told it's my education, somebody told skill, somebody
Place.
the place of origin.
Yeah.
Everybody you are correct, but it's your own views, and there have no one single opinion that this is the most correct chronology of putting information. But more or less, it is think that the very first information is your name, that is your identity, individual identity. Then, if you like to talk with you, if you like to know about you, how we will contact with you, that he told, the contact number. The very first basic thing, the name and the contact. By whom we can keep their speech. Then, first, the education. Then, the experience. Then, the skill. Then, the neck, that is interest. More or less, these are the basic information. That is, the basic information is the personal data. That is name, contact, address, email, this. Second, the education. Third, the professional qualification. Then the skill experiences. Your skill. Then you need the rest.
Family background.
I'm telling it in a very serious, not in a serious language, but my feelings, I tell you very sincerely. When a beautician put a white Rajinigonda in a hair of lady, other than it's good. Another lady who wears colored rose in his hair, another lady can say it's good. Both are good. It depends whether you will use Rajinigonda or rose or any other. It's depend for whom you are doing the beautification. The same thing, what sorts of, which will be either skill is first or experience is first or interest, the area of interest you will mention. It depends case to case, organization to organization, purpose to purpose, reasons to reasons, it's different. But the basic information, these 6 should may be included in a resume. Forget everything. If you like to present yourself to an employer, in most cases for you in this class, you are actually a job seeker. Because you are a student, after passing out, you will try for a job. And our Shafai, in the beginning of the class, he was also telling about the employee entrepreneurship. Yes, if somebody may have that you are not you will not seek job, rather you will try to be an entrepreneur. But in those cases, you have to prepare a CV. As an entrepreneur, if you like to apply for a registration to a rural government authority, or you apply for a loan to a financial institution or bank, you have to produce a CV also. Therefore, if you try to look a job or you try to develop yourself as an entrepreneur, in both cases you have to prepare a good CV. However, let's come to see what the basic information we will produce in a resume. In one-page resume, forget all these things. What we have did here, please see. We have drawn a line here, over there, it's a photograph. I think we are the same opinion that there should have a photograph.
Yeah.
But mind you, this photograph should not be 2-3 years before. To present you more young, don't do this. Or, I'm laughing, but it may have that, it have some cost also. You have some photograph that you have taken 3 months, 6 months before. If you take a new photograph, it may have new additional cost. Or say, but sometimes you have, if you take a new print, you have to go to a printing studio. And there are various costs. But try to have an updated photograph. An updated photograph. Dress is very important. What sorts of dress you will wear? Either a tie or suit or Punjabi or any other. In most cases, it is suggested that if it is an international nature organization, you be with formal dress. Universally, more or less, the formal dress we recognize that it is tie, suit. But if anybody don't like to wear suit, no harm. But it should be in a polite manner. It may have a Middle Eastern dress that the Arabians wear, white, kurta. They can wear, no problem. But wear it nice. The ladies you have to wear suit, no problem. But there is an international immigration law now that you can't open your whole eyes and face, still close your eyes and face. It's because of the checking in the airport. However, the thing is that the latest picture in a well dressed up.
Yeah.
Any dress you can wear, but it should be well dressed up. Second, the very basic information, the name. If we like to give only one information, that is name. Then the contact address, cell, and email ID.
Second one is
Sorry.
contact details is the third option. The first one name, second one is address.
Second is
Yeah, address.
address.
Yeah.
And you can also say that I feel that email should be earlier, cell should be. And I suggest you do this. Address, then email ID, and cell. But it's so it's not so much different. You can cell or email ID earlier or later. It's not. However, the very first part before this line, the very basic information is that name, address, contact cell number, contact email, and the photograph. Then the career objective. I can challenge about 30 CVs here. All the CVs contain the same career objective. It may never be, it should not be. And this is not a standard language also, I tell you. It has been copied from other CV that you are following. Please, what you will do, I will show in the exercise stage what should be it. We eat at the home. We just square it at the home. What should be the career objective? আমি তোমাদেরকে বাংলায় যারা আছে তাদেরকে বলি। না এইটা ওদের বিজ্ঞাপনটা দেখো। I have not come here with sufficient information, but I have come here with updated information. In every cases, I have come with updated information. Even this advertisement published in BD Jobs, the last date of this application is May 17. If anybody like to apply for this position, you can do this. This is an application advertisement in BD Jobs, the square toilets. The last date of submitting this application is May 17. Let's come with the real advice. If you like to put a CV for this position, what we have mentioned in the career objective, however, be here for a few minutes. This is an application, this is an advertisement by Square Toiletries for the position of executive for the Department of Human Resources. You will apply for the position of executive. Oh, there are two advertisements. One is for executive in the same organization, and another advertisement is for assistant officer for এটা কিসের জন্য যে দরখাস্তটা তুমি যে করেছো জুনিয়র অফিসার হিউম্যান রিসোর্সেস ওকে জুনিয়র অফিসার হিউম্যান রিসোর্সেস and executive human resources for us the similar position. However, if you like to apply, please try to understand with a very clear objective. If you like to apply for a position in the Human Resources Division of Square Toiletries, and if you like to prepare a career objectives of 2 lines, that what we have mentioned here, we have told. the career objective is to work what we have mentioned in the soft copy as a career objective. It's the hard version of the same matter. To work in a challenging and dynamic environment and to keep adding value to the organization that I present and serve, while also currently upgrading my skills and knowledge. It is applicable from NASA to Squadron, please, from Daffodil University to Canberra University. Everywhere you can put it. It's very vague and generalized. It's not specific. It is copied from many other recipes. It's not crime, but not efficient manner. In most cases, what you do, you mean the students what do. They put their career objective like this, which is very common, maybe common to all. And the employer also understands that you have copied it from another places. And so, they don't ignore you, but equally they don't like you also. তোমাদেরকে তারা খারাপ কিছু বলে না, আবার পছন্দ করে ইনক্লুডও করে, কারণ দেখে এটা তুমি কপি করেছো তো ভুল তো বা শুদ্ধ তো বাক্য তো শুদ্ধই আছে। But if you can prepare this career objective, keeping relation to this advertisement, keeping consistency with the job responsibilities, that will be the real career objective. And in that case, তখনই শুধুমাত্র তোমার employer convince হবে। You have copied it from standard resume or CV. But if you really try to convince your employer, please put this language keeping consistency with the responsibilities of this particular objectives. Responsibilities. It means তুমি যতবার চাকরি দরখাস্ত করবে এই ক্যারিয়ার অবজেক্টিভস ততবার বদলাবে। কার সাথে বদলাবে? ওই দরখাস্তের সাথে মিলিয়ে তোমাকে করতে হবে। তোমরা আবার খেয়াল করো, আমি তো ইংরেজিতে বলবো ওদেরকে, তোমাদের তোমরা ইংলিশ বিষয় বলবো। আমরা ওই একটা বানিয়ে রাখলাম, অর্থাৎ একই সিভি সব জায়গায় প্রয়োগ করা যাবে না, তাহলে আর তোমার চাকরি হবে না। আর দূর দেখলে বকাবকি করে চাকরি হয় না, কারণ ওই যে মুখস্থ লিখে রেখেছো তারাও তোমার মুখস্থটা লিখে দেয়। ফলে তুমি যখন চাকরি দরখাস্ত করবে, সিভি বানাবে, তুমি সিভিতে লিখবে এখানে কি তোমাকে চাকরি করতে বলা হয়েছে, এখানে বলা আছে কি কাজ করতে হবে তোমাকে। তুমি ক্যারিয়ারে বলবে যে আই লাইক টু ডেভেলপ মাই ক্যারিয়ার এজ এ human resource junior level position and will try to be acquire the apex position of human resources step by step by involving myself with the atmosphere. When you will prepare, if you try to convince your employer, one CV should not be produced for another case. For every application, you have to produce every different CV. Always. That is, when you will put a CV for square toiletries, you will put the career objectives, keeping consistent with the responsibilities of that particular job. আজকে আমরা এতক্ষণের আলোচনা যদি একটা মাত্র প্রথম কোন শিখে থাকি, তাহলে হচ্ছে প্রথম হচ্ছে এটি যে তোমার দরখাস্তের সাথে মিলিয়ে তোমাকে এটা বানাতে হবে, প্রতিবার চেঞ্জ করতে হবে, একটা বই দিয়ে দিলে হবে না। একটা দিলে হয় ওই বন্ধুর কাছ থেকে অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট কপি করে সাবমিট করা। What I have told them in Bengali, the same thing. You have to change the CV every time, CV or CV, every time when you place a new application to another organization or company. Every time. How you will change it? You will change it keeping consistent with the responsibility, job responsibilities of that particular position and organization. And think that I have told them that the whole discussion that we have made up to that 1.5 hours, the first thing that we have, I think it's very significant that you have to produce your CV with the keeping consistency with the job responsibilities of that particular position. Number 2, এটা তোমার সিভিতে আমি তোমাদেরকে বাংলায় একটা কথা বলি, হাতে আমার সময় এত কম, মানে ক্লাসের সময় কথা বলছি না, মানে আমি একটা লেখা তৈরি করতে গিয়ে শেষ করতে পারিনি। সেটা হচ্ছে কয়েকদিন আগে তোমরা পত্রিকায় দেখেছো, পড়েছো, ব্যাপকভাবে প্রথম আলোতে রিপোর্ট করেছিল কত হাজার বিলিয়ন ডলার বাংলাদেশ থেকে বিদেশিরা কাজ করে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে। এই তথ্যটা প্রথম আলো প্রকাশ করার আগে, বহু আগে, আরো অন্তত মাস 6 আগে আমাদের জানা ছিল। ইউনিভার্সিটি গ্রান্টস কমিশনের চেয়ারম্যান আমাদের মান্নান স্যার, উনি ওনার একটা প্রেজেন্টেশনে এই তথ্য সিমিলার, এই একই তথ্য, হয় কি একজন ব্যক্তি কথা বললে এটা অনেক লোকে শুনে না বলে সেটা মানে পত্রিকায় যখন আসে তখন লোকজন সেটা পড়ে জানে। ধরো এখানে আমি তোমাদেরকে খুব কষ্টের কথাটা এত ইমোশনালি শেয়ার করার জন্য বাংলায় বলছি। আই এম শেয়ারিং উইথ দেম দ্যাট ইনফরমেশন উইথ গ্রেট সরো অ্যান্ড ইমোশন that I will also share with you in English. That is about 4 lakhs of people, the foreign people working in Bangladesh, who are taking about 24,000 million US dollars from this country, and about 1 crore of Bengali people who are working abroad in different countries. They are earning only about double to the amount that they take from Bangladesh. মাত্র 4 লাখ লোক কাজ করে বাংলাদেশ থেকে যা নিয়ে যাচ্ছে, 1 কোটি মানুষ সৌদি আরবের মরুভূমিতে শ্রমিকের কাজ করে তার দ্বিগুণ মাত্র উপার্জন করছে। 1 কোটি লোক মিলে তাদের 4 লক্ষের সমান উপার্জন করছে। বুঝো কত কষ্টের কথা, আত্মমর্যাদায় লাগে। আর খালি বড় চাকরি দেয় না, আরে তোমাদের চাকরি ওই যে ওদেরকে বাইরে থেকে নিয়ে আসতে একটু বেশি সব হয়। এই কাজটা তোমরা করলে তো তোমাদেরকে আরো বেতন কম দিয়ে, এর অর্ধেক বেতন দিয়ে কাজ করাতে পারো। সেই টাকাটা তারা বিদেশিদেরকে কেন দিচ্ছে? শখে? Yes, that's the quality. You have to attain that quality. এবং সেই জন্যে এটা তোমাদের বকে লাভ নাই। আমি খুব খুব মমতার সাথে তোমাদেরকে কথাটা বলছি। তোমরা এখানে এই শেষের দিকের ছাত্র কয়জন, মানে সেমিস্টার ছাত্র ভাব 12 সেমিস্টারে কতজন? 7 8
Last year.
মানে 5 এর নিচে 1 2 3 4 সেমিস্টার এনিবডি? No. If you like to overcome your limitations, if you like to prove your efficiency and attain skills, to catch those places that the foreigners are taking a huge amount of money from this country, you have to get taking preparation from the very first semester. If you try to prepare yourself from 11th or 10th semester, it's impossible to develop yourself. And that is the main cause. You have a certificate, but you have no skill. You have that. You are lucky enough that you have started in the 7th, 8th, 9th semester, but it's already late. But try to make up the situation. Please, let's go to the second. The career objective, we have all understood that every time for every application you have to change the career objective, keeping consistent with the advertised job description. 1. Number 2 is academic qualification. It's common, it's nothing to be discussed in detail. Mind it. In some cases, it may have that you have already appeared, but results have not been published. You can apply, like in the BCS examination. If you are appeared in the examination, result has not been published, you can apply. In that case, you can, if you are confident enough, put a comment here. Expected. Say, base here, W University DIU or Aflatun, he has mentioned is 3.8 is attendance score. But if you have not completed whole the semesters, in that case, what you will do? You can more than 3.5 extra. Be confident and write it. I encourage it from my personal life. I applied after my honors examination and I joined in the government service in class 1 job after my honors examination. And I mentioned in my application that I appeared and I will get at least second class, higher second class. And I was considered to join. In my appointment letter, it was mentioned that you have to produce at least second class, the certificate attaining second class in the master's examination. And I got that and I produced, and then my service was confirmed. If you are confident enough, please mention it and be advanced, and you will be far advanced in comparison to other people who will wait up to his result of publication of his result. Then this is the first part, this is the second part, this is the third part, the education. I think we are clear regarding 1, 2 and 3. This is 4, the professional qualification. It's a professional qualification that you are now attending in the class. I have attended a training course on video, CV and resume preparation. But this is the title is very attractive. Grooming, corporate grooming. I have attended the training course on corporate grooming. It's a professional qualification. What sorts of other qualification? Say you have attended an Excel, computer Excel course, a hardware course, you have a presentation course, you have many other IELTS preparatory course. This sorts of say you have attended 15 courses. But if you like to mention 15 items, it will take 4 days. Is it not?
Yes.
In that case, what you will do? Again, okay. If you, in the 4th segment, the professional qualification, if you have attended 15 different sorts of training courses, what 3 or 4 will be mentioned?
Which is related to
Yes, will relate to this job description. Which 4 is relevant to this 4 job description? You will mention those 4. It means every time you have to change. If it is for human resources, you will mention the courses, those are related to human resources. If it is IT related position, then you will mention the courses that you are related to IT. This is the mechanism how you will update your CV or resume with that particular professional experiences. What is the job? Am I clear to this 4th segment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 5th. Achievements, or we can say it, experience. You, the international students, most of you are not serving anywhere. But the local domestic students, they are somehow engaged with some part-time job. Like our Aflatul Kausar is the student associate in CDC. This experience helping him to develop himself. I tell you, it's very rich experience that will help to get a new job anywhere. What I tell you, you try to attend some experiences during your student life. Don't try to see on the basis of how much salary you will be provided. Rather, you try to understand that this experience, salary is not the matter. This experience will help me for my future career. And therefore, I also advise one of your colleagues, his name is Nigerian.
Osman.
Perhaps you know Mr. Osman,
Yeah.
a Nigerian student.
Yeah.
He works in our international department. He's a part-time employee.
Yeah.
You can also apply for working in some departments of DIU or in any other places also. If you take a job part-time basis, daily 4 or 5 hours or 3 hours, it will not hamper your education. I tell you, যারা বলো এটা করলে আমার সিজিপিএ কমে যাবে তারা আসলে অথর্ব সরি এই আমি সিডিসি ডিরেক্টর একটা ডিপার্টমেন্ট দেখি আমার মনে হয় যে আমি সারাদিন কাজ করে কুলাতে পারছি না তো এরকম সিডিসির মতো 20টা ডিপার্টমেন্ট আছে ডেভেলপমেন্ট ডিআইএ এই ডিআইএর মতো আরো 20টা প্রতিষ্ঠান আছে ডেভেলপমেন্ট গ্রুপে এই সবগুলো প্রতিষ্ঠান সবগুলো দেখা চালায় ওনার সময় অভাব করে ফলে এই ধারণাটা একেবারেই ভুল যে চাকরি করলে সিজিপিএ কমে যাবে পড়াশোনা আসলে এটা ডিপেন্ড করে হাউ মাচ ইউ আর ক্যাপাবল টু অ্যাডজাস্ট ইউরসেলফ উইথ দ্য টাইম ম্যানেজমেন্ট you have to manage your time efficiently and that will be the ultimate result how you will be able to attain your capability experience during the student life. Number 5, this is the 5 experience. এটার জন্য তোমার কাছে একটা ফরম্যাট করেছিলাম না কবে কবে এটা ওইটা আসে নাই
স্যার যে এক্সপেরিয়েন্সের জন্য
হ্যাঁ
স্যার ওটা প্রফেশনাল এক্সপেরিয়েন্সটা নেক্সট পেজে নিয়ে গেছিলাম
or next page is okay. If you have agreed with it, say if you have no significant professional achievement, then you can replace it with these professional experiences. Here mentioned the organization Career Development Center, position Students Associate, duration April 3, 2018 to till date. you can replace it with this professional experiences or professional attainment. Anyone you can mention it in 5. Agar page go. Next come, this is the 6. Individual skill set. You have, MS Word, PowerPoint, Excel, hardware maintenance, many other skills you may have. This is very important, even important than this question sometimes. But which will be more important to an employer? It depends of that particular organization, their views. But I think equally sometimes this is important, sometimes this is important. But both are important. And don't ignore any of these two. 7. I think the skill and computer proficiency, this may come under 1. We can tell it. Computer proficiency is also a source of skill. So it can come under this skill. That means all this, altogether this is 6. The skill. Number 7, this is the personal information. In most cases, for personal information, our domestic students make a wrong, make an error. What is that? In most cases, they don't mention Bangladesh. But mainly, তুমি যখন সফট কপি পাঠাচ্ছ, এটা কি ওয়াশিংটন থেকে এসেছে নাকি চাঁদপুর থেকে এসেছে কিন্তু বোঝার কোনো উপায় নেই। ফলে আজকালকার সময়ে to be smart, please always mention your country of origin. Please mention your country. It's because you are sending the CV or resume through email, which is in the soft form, you can understand. And even from your name, another person can understand whether you are male or female, you are from Bangladeshi or an American citizen. So you have to mention your country. Another thing, this is the convey of international convention by the United Nations, that you have to mention your mother's name first before your father. In most CVs, I have seen that people mention the name of his father first. In all these CVs here, everybody has mentioned the name of his father first. I told yesterday to Aflatun that you mention your mother's name first. And I suggest you to mention your mother's name first. It's not only the indication of the International Convention of the United Nations, but also it's the presentation of your attitude and views, how you see your life and your father and you see your parents. As a human being, I always like to see my mother first. Personally, I like to see. And I think it's a smart approach also, not only an obligation of United Nations. Therefore, you always like the name of your mother first. Next page. Up to this page, if you like to confine it is in the form of a resume, this is enough to mention in a resume. But if you like to convert it into a CV, then go to the next page. Mr. Aflatun, in your hard copy, Mr. Aflatun mentioned the NID number, passport number. I deleted both this. Because in the resume, it's not a relevant information, whether your ID number, what is your ID number, what is your passport number. It will be necessary if United Nations offer you a job in Washington. Otherwise, your passport number is not essential. So you delete it from your hard copy, the number of the NID number and passport number. This is our resume. Now we'll go to the CV little bit later. Yes.
Personal information mentioned two times in the CV.
Sorry.
Personal information. First thing in the CV, personal information, and the last page, personal information. Why?
Oh, why in the resume?
Yeah,
Why in the resume? It will depend. It will depend who is your job, who is your employer. If you feel that this job position is out of Dhaka, if it is the job in Bangladesh, and if it is out of capital city, then your employer may think that in which district you originated. If the position is in Burungamari of the Panchakot district, Burungamari is in Panchakot, Thakurgaon, maybe Thakurgaon, Burungamari. Then your employer will see that if a boy who have come from Burungamari, he will prefer him to recruit in that organization. But if he is from Teknaf, he may not be interested. Even his other information is satisfactory. But as his village is in Teknaf, he is not suitable for the position in Burungamari. That's why some basic information of area is put. It will also differ from case to case, application to application, organization to organization. More or less, these are the information we can accommodate in a resume. If you like to convert it into a video resume, then you will produce more or less this information in your voice. It's nothing but the transform into voice. My name is Akhlaqul Kausar. I live in Shukrabad. It's the city center capital in Bangladesh. I graduated from the University of Definitely International University. By this time, I have covered the 11th semester, and in the meantime, I have joined as a student associate in the Career Development Center of this university and working as a student associate. And I have also attended the skill competency training in Definitely University as well as another organization, of which one is Government Institute like Bangladesh Management Development Center. And I have sufficient IT skill. More or less, you will transform this information into voice. If you think my voice is not so clear, not so loud, not sweet, forget it. It is more important how you are presenting. It's not necessarily it will be a very nice voice, but it is more important how you are confident, how your voice expresses your confidence level. If we like to transform this resume into CV, then we can add some additional information. What are those? Let's go to the second page. We have already discussed. And references we also already have been discussed. That before mentioning a name as a reference, please inform that particular gentleman that you are mentioning his name as his reference. Another thing which you can mention in your CV, that is publication, list of publication. If you have if you have, don't mind if I refer my personal matters. In my CV, which I produced for my first job, I could able to mention that I have a few publications in the national dailies. And you know, that particular information was mainly helped me to get the job. তোমরা যারা এখানকার আছে ওদেরকে বলি, আমি তো মাস্টার্স করার আগে চাকরির জন্য দরখাস্ত করেছি, আর ঢাকা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের এখন যেটা কমার্স ফ্যাকাল্টি, আমি সরি এটা গল্প হলেও তোমাদের জন্য বুঝতে সাহায্য করবে সিভির সাথে মিলিয়ে। মানে আমার সিভিতে কি ভুল ছিল আর কি সেটা তোমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করতে চাই। আমার আমি সিভি তৈরি করাতে যে ভুলটা করেছিলাম আর কি, তো তখন নিপা বলে, এখন যেটা কমার্স ফ্যাকাল্টি সেখানে এই বিল্ডিংটা ছিল না, এটা পরে হয়েছে। তো নিপা বলে একটা প্রতিষ্ঠান ছিল, ন্যাশনাল ইনস্টিটিউট অফ পাবলিক অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশন, যেটা এখন পিএটিসি সাভারে আর কি। তো ওই প্রতিষ্ঠানে আমি এই রিসার্চ প্রজেক্টে ওই ডাটা অ্যানালিস্ট হিসেবে কাজ করেছি। কোন রিসার্চ প্রজেক্ট বলি, এখন যে উপজেলা হলো, এই উপজেলা স্থাপনের আগে একটা স্টাডি হয়েছিল, তার প্রজেক্টের নাম ছিল ডিসেন্ট্রালাইজেশন অফ অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশন। ওই প্রজেক্টে কাজ করেছিলাম, তো বছরখানেক কাজ করেছিলাম। আর আমি তখন দৈনিক, তখন সারা দেশের পত্রিকাই ছিল তিনটা মাত্র, ইত্তেফাক, দৈনিক বাংলা এবং সংবাদ। তো সংবাদ তখন খুব দাপুটে পত্রিকা, খুব প্রভাবশালী পত্রিকা। আমি তখন সংবাদে আমার কয়েকটা আর্টিকেল ছাপা হয়েছে। তো আমার সিভিতে আমি উল্লেখ করিনি যে আমি নিপাতে 1 বছর কাজ করেছি এবং দৈনিক পত্রিকা আমার কিছু আর্টিকেল আছে, কারণ আমার কাছে তখন মনে হয়নি যে এটা মানে আমাদের আফলাতুন যে স্টুডেন্ট অ্যাসোসিয়েট হিসেবে কাজ করছে, এটা তার কাছে হয়তো মনে হচ্ছে যে আমি চাকরি করছি ক্লাস 1 জবের জন্য এত এই সামান্য পার্ট টাইম পদ এটা উল্লেখ করব, এরকম চিন্তা থেকে আমি নিপার ওই চাকরির কথাটা উল্লেখ করিনি, আর এই যে এই পত্রিকায় লিখেছি এটা উল্লেখ করিনি। ভাইবাতে যখন গেলাম আমাকে যে এই প্রসঙ্গক্রমে এগুলো আসলো আর কি, কী জানি, কী করি, কী হয়। তো আমি কথা বললাম যে এরকম নিপাতে কাজ করছে, বললো তুমি এটি লেখনি যে। তো আমি বললাম যে আমি দৈনিক পত্রিকায় আমার একটু সংবাদের লেখা ছাপা হয়েছে, তো বলি সেটা তো উল্লেখ নেই। যাই হোক, আই গট দ্য জব মেইনলি ডিউ দ্যাট টু কোয়ালিটি। ওয়ান, আই ওয়ার্ক ইন নেপা ফর 1 year অ্যান্ড আই হ্যাড সাম পাবলিকেশনস ইন দৈনিক সংবাদ। অন্য কোনো কিছুর জন্য কিন্তু আমার চাকরি হয়নি, আমার চাকরি হয়েছে ইভেন আই ডিডন্ট পাস my masters. That's why I tell you, always try to acquaint yourself with some extraordinary quality, like some part-time job, some publication, member of a debating club, be a good sportsman. গল্প হয়ে যায়, আমার ক্লাসমেট পরপর 3 বছর জাতীয় চ্যাম্পিয়ন ছিল, তোমরা এখন চিনবে না, সেই সময়টাতে সবাই চিনবে, তুফাজ্জ, তার সবকটা 3rd ডিভিশন সেই সময়। বাট ডিউ টু দ্যাট কোয়ালিটি হি ওয়াজ এবল টু অ্যাডমিটেড ইন ঢাকা ইউনিভার্সিটি। অতএব এই এক্সট্রাঅর্ডিনারি কারিকুলার অ্যাক্টিভিটিস খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আবার হোয়াট আই লাইক টু সাজেস্ট ইউ, if you have some publications, please try to mention it in your CV. If you have experience with some debate club, sports club, literary club, or any other, even if you have any experience with the startup shop, you can mention it also. So, but what you will mention, in brief I tell you, what you will mention in your CV, either in the first page or in the second page, always try to keep it the requirements and satisfaction of your employer. তুমি কোনটা উল্লেখ করবে এটি নির্ভর করবে তুমি যেখানে চাকরি দরখাস্ত করছো সে কি চাচ্ছে তার সাথে মিলিয়ে। Therefore, if you are here to present you before your employer, you try to understand his satisfaction. What quality you have, not that, but what quality he would deserve, he wants, he requires, that you should understand. on CV and resume, but still we have another segment, that is how you have to produce a cover letter. While you will prepare CV or resume, then you have to send it to your employer. You can put it abruptly. You should have a courtesy manner. When you go to your teacher to say something, or very fast to say good morning, hello, how are you, sir, can I sit here, or can I put my appeal, or something. The cover letter is that courtesy. That I have a CV and I like to put it between. That is the cover letter. We'll go to the cover letter after 2, 3, 5 minutes break. But before that, I like to take some questions from you. What the questions?
As we know, the standard background of information consists of 6, not more than 6. One is the condition with the background.
Can you please?
Standard background of information consists of 6, not more than 6. One is the
if I understood your question, that I have told that you will try to confine with 6 items. But if you like to increase it, then what sorts of information you will add? Is it? Repeatedly I tell you, it will depend for which position you are applying. If you feel that to explain, to present yourself is an essential information which should not be omitted, but it takes more space, then you can extend your resume, even a CV, even more than 2 pages, if it is essential. Any other question? Yes, please.
Sir, photograph should staple or
yes. If it is hard copy, it is better not to staple, but to put gum behind the picture, not stapler. Because stapler has 2 negative sides. One, it is not safe. Second, sometimes it may be separated from the main.
sir, sometimes
You like to do something? Yes.
There are international
Sorry.
there are international
contact with
If you are international
session. Okay.
No, there are international gang members, former gang members.
International standard CV. Yes. This is the format that can use internationally. No problem. Just be careful for what organization you are placing. That is it. Not necessarily that the employer of UK will be disappointed with this information. The same information he also needs, but try to understand that the organization. It's only 5 minutes break. Before that, there is an important announcement. Please, please, there is an announcement. Just for 1 minute. 1 minute. Just an announcement for 1 minute. As per our declared schedule of this training course, the second day was allocated for Dr. Mark.
Yeah.
You know.
From tomorrow.
From tomorrow. But Dr. Mark will not be able to take your class due to some unavoidable situation. That's why I will take that class along with my colleagues, but I can assure that you will not be disheartened. He is with white people, but black people have the same quality, may have the same quality. So it's no matter who is taking the class, but it is important what delivery would be made. We hope you will be in the same standard that could be provided from Dr. Mark. He's a very good colleague of us, but as he will not be capable to take the class in that class, the class will be in the same schedule but with different people, but with similar standard. After 5 minutes, we will be here again, but it's break for 5 minutes. But please don't leave the class without a discussion on the covenant. Now, the break. If you can go outside or you can sit here. I like to understand meaning of a word like anchor. What do you mean by anchor? Anchor is a person who drives a ship. Anchor is a person who moderates an event. Anchor is a person ধরে রাখা, লিঙ্কেজ করা, লিয়াজু করা। Anchor means to drive, to direct, to make linkage, to make communication with others. In case of an event, in a program, like seminar or workshop or a class, an anchor introduce the speaker to the audience. If any questions come from the audience, he refer it to the speaker. That is, an anchor is a mediator to make the liaison between the audience and the speaker. In an event, we can say him also the moderator, the presenter. Many other words you can use for the same purpose. This is the third time I have to restart. But this is the last time.
Yeah.
We will now discuss what does it mean by a cover letter and how we will prepare it and why we will prepare it. Very first, why you will prepare it. How is the second phase? Very first phase is why it is prepared. Why a cover letter is prepared, why it is essential. To understand that necessity, very first we have to make discussion on a word that is anchor. Anchor means who drives a ship. Anchor means a person who make contact to persons. A person who moderate a program in an event when there have a speaker and the audience. And anchor introduces speaker to the audience and take the questions from the audience and
To the speaker.
refer it to the speaker. That is, anchoring is making bridging among two sides. In fact, the cover letter is that tool which makes liaison between the employer and the job seeker. As a job seeker, you have produced a CV or resume. before this discussion, for the last the last 2 hours, we have discussed how, why, how we will prepare a CV or TCV. Now, how I will refer this CV to an employer. In that case, the CV, the cover letter works as the anchor. Liaison, mediator. It may also be compared with our makeup man that I have discussed a little bit earlier. Why a beautician try to make a glamorous face, an attractive face of women? To present him better than his original beauty. The cover letter try to create better than its original information in the CV. It's the job of a beautician. A beautician tries to prepare a man or women to looks attractive than as usually he is attractive. The cover letter do the same thing. He tried to present the CV with a makeup form. How? This cover letter very precisely tells what has been told in the detailed CV or TCV. What have been told in 2-page CVs, the cover letter will tell the same thing in a more concise form. That's why we can tell that it's a tools of introducing the CV to the employer, as well as it's a courteous, attractive form of beautification. As a boy or girl generally looks beautiful, but after makeup he looks maybe more beautiful. Your CV is attractive, but by producing an attractive cover letter, you can present your CV in more beautiful nature. This is the beautification. How will do that beautification? In fact, this is a real-time practice. That advertisement I have shown you of Square Toiletries Limited. In that, and I tell you my personal experience in this regard. I tell you frankly, but don't refer it. Nothing confidential, but for the ethical cause, it should not be discussed. But to make you clear and to see the practical situation, what happens, I like to share it with you. What I like to refer one boy for the job. I make a telephone call to the concerned top executive. He advised, you please go through the job description of that particular job according to the job advertisement. If you find him sufficiently capable to perform those jobs, then you take an application from him and recommend it to me, I will take him. But the condition is that you become satisfied fast with those jobs that has been mentioned in the advertisement that he is capable to perform. I have already told him, you have 3 more days also still, The last date is 17. He is now trying to develop himself with those tasks. If I am sitting, I am a responsible person, I can't recommend anybody. If I see that he is really capable, maybe not 100%, but if he has the capability, 60-70% capability of performing those jobs, I'll recommend him. In fact, I tell you, the employers don't hesitate to honor any reference, but he wants the real person. I have prepared this cover letter for him, but the name is not real, but other things are real. And he don't know that I have already prepared this cover letter for him. If he can attain this skill in 2-3 days, take 2-3 days, then I will put his name here and I will send it to him with the CV for that particular job. I tell you, everybody to you all, very openly I can tell you. You see the advertisement in different media, come to me, I will refer it. But mind it, I will not do it unless you are capable enough for that position. And it's my personal experience, don't mind. When I was in government service, my daughter who passed from Dhaka University applied for a job where I was the chief in that recruitment committee. He didn't pass in the written exam. I didn't take her. I did spare my daughter even. So you can understand, I will not recommend any of you if you are not capable enough. But even you have the capability, you may have not the opportunity to get a job. In that case, if you will come to me, I will try my best to help you, but you have to attain your capability. Okay, let's come to the cover letter. What I have mentioned, address. As per advertisement, I have mentioned the managing director. But in some advertisement, it is only mentioned that apply to this post box, to this email, to the employer. The particular designation is not mentioned. In that case, you will, the advertiser or nothing. It will depend to whom the application should be sent, is mentioned in the advertisement. Therefore, it's not common that it have to go reach to the managing director. Somewhere it may be the chief executive officer, some it may be the head of human resources, somewhere it may be the general manager of human resources, sometimes it may be the chairman of that particular organization. It will differ case to case, organization to organization, but it will be carefully observed what have been mentioned in the advertisement. Please go through the, always try to go through the advertisement very carefully, very carefully. In most cases, our students are not sufficiently careful enough to see the advertisement word by word, try to understand word by word. So, address depends on the advertisement indication. Second, subject. Is clearly you have to mention the position in full. If in the advertisement it is mentioned HR, we know HR means human resources. If it is mentioned in the junior officer, এই পাণ্ডিত্য করার দরকার নেই, যা অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্টে থাকবে তুমি সেটাই উল্লেখ করবে। You will mention what has been mentioned in the advertisement. Second, always try to refer from where you you have seen that advertisement. Always. And if possible, with date. We have mentioned we have with reference to the advertisement published in the jobsbd.com. It may be in the Prathamalu. It may be the Daily Star. Anything dated. Please mention the date if possible. And sometimes it may have that there is no advertisement. You can directly approach to an employer with your CV. In that case, you can tell that from reliable sources I have known that you have the job vacancy for that level and position. If it is in the daily newspaper, then you have sufficient knowledge on grammar. If you have to mention any name of a newspaper, you have to use the word the is the article. You know, the is uses before the name of any newspaper. Therefore, if you like to mention the name of, if you have to mention the name of any newspaper, then you have to mention the word the. That is with reference to advertisement published in the Daily Star, in the Prathamalu, in the Observer, like this. Dated at in which date? It's have another reasons also. We have corruption in the society, in the government service. You can't apply for the position of for any position without any advertisement. If it is against advertisement, you must have to mention the reference. On which advertisement? There have corruption that without any advertisement, somebody applies for a government job. And after many years, it is found that he have got the job without any advertisement which has been referred in the application. That's why that is also the basic reason why reference is essential in the command letter. So very first we have to mention the reference from where you have seen the advertisement with date and mentioning the officer with reference. The hard copy is with you.
We don't have this one.
Yes, the hard copy is with you.
Yes.
Yes, the hard copy is with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. With reference to what we have mentioned in the cover letter, with reference to advertisement published in the jobsbd.com, I like to apply for the post of junior officer, human resources under square toilet facility. Now, the second para. Look to me, not to the hard copy.
Sir, in application you have used 3 para.
First para,
Application, we know that application should have 2 para. One is the body and one is the definition.
these are the very backdated and copied thing. বই মুখস্থ করে শিখেছে, not necessary. But against that conventional approach, I tell you, the very first para is the submission, the second para, the proof of my competency, and the third para is my prayer.
What should the first
The first para is by submission. Second para is the proof of my competency. Third para is my prayer. In the second para, now I have been working in Daffodil University in the position of assistant officer, which is more or less similar to the advertised position. মানে আমি যে পদের জন্য দরখাস্ত করছি, আমি বর্তমানে একই রকম পদে কাজ করছি। Now I am working in the position which is more or less similar. Don't tell it the similar, more or less similar. It will not be the fully similar, more or less similar. And presently, I perform the activities which are highly commensurate with the job responsibilities that had been mentioned in that advertisement. That is, I hold a position which is more or less similar to the position mentioned in that advertisement. One. The second thing, the job performed now, currently the activities which I perform is more or less similar to the job to be performed if I get that job in that organization. There's a two reasons. My position as well as my activities is commensurate with the position for which I have been, I like to apply. And that's why, don't tell, and that's why I like to get the job. Please don't do that. It's not a courteous language. Better to tell, that's why. And that's why I have become interested to apply. I have become, that's why I have become interested to apply. Why? I hold a similar position and I perform the similar activities. And that's why I have become interested to apply for this position. Don't tell that I like to get the job. It's not smart and sufficiently courteous manner. Tell that I have become interested to apply. Finally, be confident, sufficiently confident. In view of the above, I believe that my educational qualification and professional experiences would make me a strong candidate for the above mentioned position. This is wrong. Above mentioned ED, mentioned position. And therefore, a CV of mine, it may be CV, it may be resume, which is applicable, is of mine, is enclosed herewith for your kind consideration. The formation of this sentence, it is not so common. Of mine. Can you understand it? Of mine means mine. Aman. Of mine. Then I think sometimes you can use just only Aflatun, Kausar. But it's the entry level position. That is, you are the beginner, fresher. And in that case, your submission should be repeatedly humble. And then you tell student associate of the university, email and cell number. This is a cover letter to submit an application in the real life in squad collectors. But this is not sufficient, may not be sufficient for another job. If you like to make an application in United Nations Organization, say UNICEF, say you will send an application to UNICEF, then what will you do? Certainly, you have to mention here Definitely Indian University, 4x2 Sukrabad and Bangladesh. Because the headquarters in Geneva of UNICEF will not understand from which countries the application has been gone submitted. That you have to mention your city, your country, etc. That's why it will depend where you are submitting the application. This is model of the cover letter. How you will arrange this all together?
Sir, somebody can find the papers.
Anybody who have not find it? the human nature is that if I ask how many people here are satisfied with my lecture, I'm sure a good number of people will raise their hand. Because basically the people in this universe are very submissive. It's because man is submissive to his creator. Symbolically, a man is submissive to his senior, he is submissive to his teacher, etc. But be honest, please, if you don't understood some portion of this discussion today, please be frank and come forward to ask and tell frankly that I have not understood. We will try to make it clear in the next classes, not today, but today you are already exhausted. So we'll discuss the issues. If not sufficient today or sufficiently not covered, we'll discuss in the next classes. Even the 3 days is not sufficient. We'll extend it. No additional registration fee, but we like to have a complete, full discussion on the issues. And even international students, they see that you will not find a try job in Bangladesh, but the same practice you should do in your own country also. So this more or less is that the same. This should be the same. So take it seriously, and unless we get a full, clear picture regarding CV, resume, and cover letter with the presentation skill and interview facing technique, we'll continue our discussion. Any long is required. Today, we like to conclude up to this. But before that, any question, please, or any clarification you need.
Is it necessary to use bracket before the name and after?
Sorry. Oh, yes. It's a very good observation. Very good. Only you have not mentioned that you are not from the pharmacy department. If you like to put your sign, then you have to put bracket. If you make it unsigned, bracket will not be there. Bracket means the name here and there are another signature also. If no signature, it will be without bracket. This is the difference. Bracket, when you will put signature. If no signature, no bracket.
So what should be the font size?
Yes, it's a very good question. These have been composed, the PowerPoint, these have been composed in the running type 11 point. And this is the name is in 12 font. The other board are 11 board. This is more or less the standard practice. But sometimes you are seeing that one line is not accommodating in this space. In that case, you can reduce it 10.95 or any word you can make it little smaller to accommodate it within one place. I have seen that somebody put his name in a very big bold size font. Don't do this. And I tell you, if don't take it other way. I'm referring the examples of women again and again. It's because to understand the situation. What happened? Even boys, when you wear a shirt of deep color, to make it contrast, you take a trouser of light color. It's the contrast, color combination.
Yeah.
The same thing for a makeup of a CV. If the running time is 11 and you are putting the bold letter in 12 bold, it will not match. Always try to make a match between all the words. This is very important. Why very important? Come to the first introduction. 33% employers take the decisions within 90 seconds. That's why, if within that 90 seconds, if employer find that the wording in the CV or resume is not matching, he may put your CV closed. Even he will not go to the next information. That's why the very first 90 seconds is very important. Pratham dekha.
Sir, at first the interviewer, he will check the CV or he will start the interview.
I tell you what happened in practice. Say for a position, 2,000 applications has been received by an organization. But it is impossible for an interview board to take interview of those 2,000 applicants. In the case, a primary scrutiny are done. After scrutinization, they reduce it as 200. How they scrutinize it? They do it based on some indicator. If the candidates who have CGPA below 3, keep it top. Second, who have no IT skill, drop it. 3, who have not any experience, keep it top. Some basic criteria, based on some basic criteria, a primary scrutinization is made to reduce the number of applicants for calling in the interview. And then, when an interview based on which he assesses, they take the impression that all these 200, if 200 people, applicants are invited in the, please be attentive to hear this text. When 200 people or applicants are invited in the interview, the board takes an assumption that all 200 applicants have more or less the similar quality. Then they take decision. What? The first impression. How he had seated in the chair, how he enters in the room, how his or her delivery, how he is putting his salute, how this CV has been prepared, the first page. These are the very soft skills. Those impress the interview board in the very first 90 seconds or 2 minutes or something. That is the first impression. Therefore, always be careful to be the first impression. Always. You have a very long stylish hair. If the interview board member may not be happy with that presentation. You have a very unmatching trouser and a shirt. He may not like it. Therefore, always try to be cautious about your soft skill. In most cases, we have the deficiency of soft skill. This is not the issue of soft skill. However, we will discuss we'll try to discuss a little later, not today, about soft skill. Just about one soft skill I tell you, when you will speak in the interview board. Oh, we have the interview session also, okay, we'll discuss. In the third we will have the interview. Today I like to tell you to prepare yourself, how you present yourself in the interview board. if you speak in English, use all the words in English. If you speak in Bengali, try to speak in full Bengali. Don't mix up English and Bengali. One. Second, if the interview board member asks in English, you try to answer in English. Because possibly he cautiously and intentionally asks you in English to understand your English language efficiency and capability. So you try to reply in English. But if he asks in Bengali, that is in your mother tongue. If he asks him repeatedly, if he asks you in his mother tongue, and you reply in English, which is not your mother tongue, because if you like to prove yourself that you know very good English and you are very fluent and efficient in English, but you have asked in your mother tongue, not in English, it's disqualification. Please don't do this. This is our smartness, which is not be acceptable, may not be acceptable to the interview. One. Second thing, don't try to be clever. If you don't know, just say, sorry sir, I don't know. But don't try to put yourself that I know, but the people in the interview will understand that actually you don't know. This is called cleverness, which is disqualification. We'll discuss on the soft skill sometime, and if you are interested, we will arrange the soft skill enhancement course. Possibly will not take any registration fee benefit in that. But most of the students of your level have the deficiency in soft skill. You have the every capability, but you are not conscious. You are not conscious. I tell you, you deserve every quality. You are really good. I tell you, you are really quality. But you are not conscious sufficiently how to produce and present your quality. That's the problem. And the last word for today. Please try to have a dream in a very great height. বাংলায় যারা আসো আশাটা অনেক উপরে স্থাপন করো। দয়া করে আমি একেবারে বয়সের দাবি করব। প্লিজ তুমি নিজেকে যতটা যোগ্য মনে করো, আসলে তুমি তার চেয়ে অনেক বেশি যোগ্য। I tell you, আমি তোমাকে কনভিন্স করার জন্য না, তোমাকে মোটিভেট করার জন্য না। I tell you, everybody you have the potentiality to reach in a higher dream that other people can. Why not? If other people can, you must can. So try to set your dream in an apex level, and then get prepared yourself how to reach at that apex level. Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Wearing a tie, is there any rules or qualification? Wearing a tie, is there any rules or qualification?
No, it's not necessary. It's not necessary that you have to wear a tie. But which you wear, be clean, be matching, be good looking, smart looking, and not like a cow. Not necessarily it should be costly shirt or trouser, but it should be decent. The word most applicable word is should be decent.
Sir,
Yes.
is it necessary to be always formal dress?
No, not necessary. Not necessary. Not necessary. But I tell you, some multinational organizations like British Tobacco or some these organizations, they actually prefer to see you in a very formal dress. But it's not that you have other qualities, they will discard you due to that formal dress. Not that. Not that. And a story I tell you, the Bengali people knows, but you will not. One of our very great men here, the social reformist and politician, and as well as the great leader, is Ishwar Chandra Vidyashankar. It's not Ishwar Chandra Vidyashankar, possibly it is the Bankim Chandra. However, I'm not sure, I'll confirm it in tomorrow's class. He was the hand, Ishwar Chandra was not at that time. It is possibly Bankim Chandra. He faced an interview that is in the Viva board for ICS competitive examination, Indian Civil Service. Then one of the members of the board asked him, what's the meaning of A pod and B pod? Have you heard it? তো মানে ইংরেজ বোর্ডে তাকে জিজ্ঞেস করছে যে তুমি বলো যে আপদ, সে তো আর আমাদের মতো করে আপদ বলতে পারে না, তার ভাষায় যা হয়ে যায়। জিজ্ঞেস করল, ইটস ওয়ার্ড ইন বেঙ্গলি আপদ মিন্স we can say it's a disaster. 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 There are two parallel words in Bengali meaning disaster, apod and bipod. The same meaning, that is disaster. The English guy in the interview board asked Bankim Chandra, who is a Bengali spoken man, what's the differences between apod and bipod? ওরা বুঝবে না এটা, বাঙালিদেরকে বলি। তো বললো যে আমি যে আপনাদের এখানে এসছি নৌকা পার হয়ে আর কি, নদী পার হয়ে নৌকায় করে, তো ওই মাঝপথে যদি ঝড়ে এসে নৌকাটা ডুবে যেত, এটা হচ্ছে আমার জন্য হতো একটা বিপদ। আর আমি একজন বাঙালি হয়ে একজন ইংরেজের কাছে আপদ আর বিপদের অর্থ ব্যাখ্যা করছি, এটা হচ্ছে আমাদের জন্য আপদ। এটা কিন্তু বাস্তব ঘটনা। I tell you, in the interview board, you try to prove your intellect and capability, but don't do it, please do it in a very submissive manner. I'm sorry, I'm telling you a lot of stories, but all from the real life, not from books. এটাও ওরা কম বুঝবে, আমি তোমাদের বলি। This is the last story. Without any tea or coffee, I'm sorry. In the next day, let's try to have a cup of coffee together. And today, just one গল্প শেষ করি। আমার বস ছিলেন সরকারি দপ্তরের। Dear participants, we like to conclude this session today by the last words that we'll go ahead with the same schedule for next 2 days, and you will make a practice in coding with this CV, resume and cover letter, and you will submit it tomorrow, and I will examine each and every CV, resume and cover letter, and I will put my comment on this.
স্যার আমার কোন পারপাসে সিভিটা লিখব, মানে কোন একটা জবের জন্য
তুমি যদি মনে করো কোথাও থেকে কোনো দরখাস্ত করার জন্য করতে পারো, anyway, it is your liberty. For any position that you feel free, you can apply. But make a cover letter as you feel, and make it a CV. And if you like to submit it tomorrow, you can do it. Or you feel free to submit it day after tomorrow, you can do that also. But by day after tomorrow morning, before the class, before starting the class, you have to submit. And if you don't submit, we will not recommend for your certificate.
Tomorrow.
I'm very happy.
Tomorrow, sir.
Tomorrow or day after
No,
tomorrow?
my desire is tomorrow. If anybody fail, but that will, I will take it little negatively. If you can't, if any essential reason for which you can't submit it tomorrow, you can submit it day after tomorrow. But try to submit it by tomorrow. I think most of you will submit it by tomorrow. And if you don't submit the CV, resume and the cover letter, you will not get the certificate.
So in CFI base, necessary to.
Have you got the first page?
Yeah, I got this.
Okay, you fill both the pages, and you can make it
This one
longer.
and this one same.
Not the same. Not the same. Have little difference.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we have been able to communicate you the issue. If there have any insufficiency, any unclarity, please put it in writing to me. I will try to make it clear in the next classes. But yes, please.
Sir, how many people have this type of job? And the government is defining that this time this guy is working the full day. And this time I'm fresh.
You can write it your way, by in your own way. Even you can do it in your own country type. No problem.
No, I don't have the jobs. I'm now fresh. I mean, so I can apply for. I can write for like this.
Sorry, I
Actually, I mean, that example for the freshers,
هو بالعربي.
Please try to order.
I mean, sir, in this example,
Yes.
in the second paragraph, it talks about how I have been working. And for
Oh,
example,
but
I'm
if you
not
are a fresher, if you have not experience,
Yes.
okay, no problem. You will, in that case, yes, very good observation. In most cases, you have no experiences. What in that case, what you will do? You will say that I am a fresh graduate, but I have the commitment and desire and aim to have a profession in human resources. And that's why I have become interested to apply for this position under human resources. If anybody likes to send me to the email of CDC, you can send it. But it will be, but please try to allow me a hard copy so that I can put my comments on the hard copy.
Okay.
Sir, another thing,
Yes.
is it must to use this language or I can...
No, you can produce your language. It's not a, never copy any other thing. Don't copy. Please, unique.
Be unique, yeah.
Here, have a tells about uniqueness regarding fashion. Have you heard the name of Oscar Wilde?
No.
He is a very renowned and famous man in the literature or English language. Oscar Wilde. He told, which one does is fashion. Try to understand. Which one does, which everybody does, which one does is fashion, which everybody does is out of fashion. আমরা কি করি একজন যে একটা জামা দেখে যে আরেকজন কিনি is really not fashionable. The fashionable man or woman is he or she who is not follow others. Always try to be unique, different from others, and try to think differently and uniquely. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.